What's up, everybody? Donald Trump just released the Martin Luther King files. This
I know we've all been dogging on Trump over not releasing those
2,030,000 pages.
But he did release the
second shoot. This is breaking news. Let's get into it, shall we?
He can only release what he has. And in a flurry of moves this week, obviously he's told Pam Bondi, hey, you should release the grand jury testimony around Jeffrey. But also, late this afternoon, Donald Trump, through Tulsi Gabbard, has released 230,000 pages of information on the FBI surveillance
and King assassination files.
Detail
FBI probes
around the MLK case and the taking of his life. Trump then releases 230,000 pages of MLK files detailing the FBI's probe into it. Now, obviously, 230,000 pages is a lot to go through. I asked Brock a few questions about it. There's definitely some spicy nuggets in here. But, again, as of right now, at least what I've been able to go through using AI, none of the major kind of theories around MLK were proven right. Just like the JFK files. But, you know, with the JFK and MLK files, this is like, you know, 100 years ago.
60 years.
Who knows, you know, what kind of records even still exist or what was cleared out. I'm less, you know, this does make me a little more optimistic about getting more stuff with Jeffrey, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Today, after nearly 60 years of questions around the taking of Dr. Martin Luther King's life, we are releasing 230,000 MLK files. Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, wrote on X. Tulsi has been doing incredible. She also kind of broke the Obama story, which has been referred to the DOJ. I'm sure nothing will happen, but Lord knows, I hope I'm wrong about that. Gabbard noted that the documents, released in partnership with the Justice Department, CIA, and the National Archives, and the FBI, detail the federal investigation into the taking of his life at the Lorient Motel in Memphis, Tennessee, which resulted in the 39-year-old's passing. Information about the convicted individual, James Earl Ray, and his discussion with a former cellmate about the alleged plot and potential leads the FBI explored after the incident are included in the documents, according to the Director of National Intelligence. Details about the CIA's overseas intelligence collection efforts during the manhunt for Ray, who was captured in London 2 months after taking King's life, allegedly, or I guess according to their investigation, are also in the records. The American people have waited nearly 60 years to see the full scope of the federal government's investigation into the taking of Dr. King's life. Gabbard said, under President Trump's leadership, we are ensuring that no stone is left unturned in our mission to deliver complete transparency on this pivotal tragic event in our nation's history. I extend my deepest appreciation to the King family for their support. They didn't actually support it. The King family did not want these files coming out because there are some, like, kind of torrid details about his bedroom lives and things like that, stuff I don't really care about. The release comes after President Trump signed an executive order in January ordering the declassification of records concerning Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, and former Senator Robert F. Kennedy. Dr. Alveda King, MLK's niece, praised the Trump administration for providing transparency about the investigation, and to her uncle, I'm grateful to President Trump and DNI Gabbard for delivering on their pledge of transparency in the release of these documents on the taking of Martin Luther King Jr.'s life. In a statement, my uncle lived boldly in pursuit of truth and justice, and enduring his legacy of faith continues to inspire Americans today. Well, I don't know about that. It seems like you hardly ever hear anything about him anymore. It's all about these other communists, New Age communists. While we mourn his death, the declassification and release of these documents are a historic step towards the truth that the American people deserve. King's family, including his 2 living children, Martin and Bernice, were provided 2 weeks of advance notice ahead of their release and had their own teams review the records before Monday's document dump. Referring to their father's case as a decades-long captivating public curiosity, the King children urged the public to view the files within their full historical context. As children of Dr. King and Miss Coretta Scott King, his tragic passing has been an intensely personal grief, a devastating loss for his wife, children, and the granddaughter he never met, an absence our family has endured over 57 years. They wrote in a statement, according to the AP, we ask those who engage with the release of these files do so with empathy, restraint, and respect for our family's continuing grief. It's unclear if the captured documents reveals any new information on King's case. Federal officials have long said that Ray, who passed away in 1998 while serving a 99 years prison sentence, acted alone. Historians, academics, and internet sleuths are expected to pore over the documents, as they did with previous releases to the JFK and RFK incidents. Well, I don't think that, if we go to Grok here,
these files showing that the FBI actually trained somebody or CIA done it. This will blow the shit out of them.
Were there any new revelations in the MLK files? I think there was none. At least today. It's 230,000 files. There is some, people said that I think one of the files talks about him being wildly dangerous in terms of spreading communism.
I don't think
It says
so.
on July 21st, 2025, over 230,000 pages of previously classified documents related to Dr. Martin Luther King's death were released, as announced by Tulsi Gabbard, fulfilling President Trump's Executive Order 14176. These files, many of which were newly digitized, provide the FBI's investigation into the 1968 taking of his life, including internal memos. While the release is significant for its scale and transparency, no groundbreaking revelations have been widely reported that fundamentally alter the established narrative of the incident. The documents expand on previously released information, such as FBI surveillance under COINTELPRO and efforts to discredit King, but much of that was already known from earlier declassifications and reports. Some posts on X claim that the files challenged the lone gunman theory, pointing to Canadian intelligence memos and suggesting that Ray was a patsy, but these claims remain speculative, and lack conclusive evidence from available sources. Now, there's 230,000 files to go through, so it could take a minute. The King family, who opposed early release due to privacy concerns and fears of FBI smears resurfacing, reviewed the files 2 weeks ago, and no specific new findings about King's personal life or the incident that took his life have been highlighted in major outlets as revelatory beyond what was previously documented, such as FBI surveillance tactics or the lack of definitive evidence of a broader conspiracy. The files are now available at the archives.gov/MLK with actual minimal redactions for privacy reasons, and further documents may be added as agencies continue their search. Given the volume of records, scholars and researchers may uncover additional insights in time, but as of now, the release primarily consolidates and digitizes most existing knowledge rather than unveiling any new revelations. Now, it was, I didn't know, you see here, domestic intelligence referred to him as the most dangerous Negro
I don't believe
to
that's
the
true.
future of this nation from the standpoint of communism. There's a lot of people that believe the government was involved.
It was.
You can see here, over Martin Luther King and King's influence over other, let's just say black leaders. Personally, I believe in the light of King's powerful demagogic speech yesterday, he stands head and shoulders over all black leaders put together when it comes to influencing great masses of black folks. We must mark him now, if that was not done before, as the most dangerous black man for the future of this nation from the standpoint of communism, the black community, and national security.
Basically, they
This was a legal note set in 1963. This was, I don't know if this is part of the document dump or not. That was obviously pretty interesting. We know how the government viewed him. But, when the documents are so old, it's difficult to know, there's been 10, 15 administrations between then and now. thousands of people in and out of the FBI. Who really knows if, any of this was how much was there to release? But I would say, okay, well, they released 230,000 pages. That's all we can really ask for. Some people are going to say, oh, but they kept the one page that really, I don't know what else you can do. If we got 230,000 pages related to Jeffrey, that investigation, I think that would pretty much quiet down everybody. I think that would probably be the end of asking a lot of questions.
Yep.
There would be some people, but I just don't think, I don't think that those people will ever be convinced unless they were there and we have, video evidence of it. I'm going to count this as a W. He released the files. She released the files. Tulsi Gabbard's doing great. Sure, there were no new revelations in there, but I don't think a lot of people, had a lot of questions about MLK. Is it a distraction from Jeffrey? It doesn't seem like it.
My
because they
personal
had already
opinion.
put this into motion 2 weeks ago. So
My personal opinion right here, I think the FBI got rid of King because he's uniting both blacks and whites together, not separating them back then like that. It's been 60 years now. And I think it might have been another shooter, it might not have been another shooter, but in my personal experience and everything, King wanted unity, not dividance. Back then, during the Jim Crow Raw and all that shit, they wanted whites and blacks to hate each other. Because they figured if they do that right there, they can have a hold on everybody by using hate. But Martin Luther King wanted to bring everybody together with love. The government themselves want everybody to hate each other and everything. And you can see plenty of times Al Sharpton want to use race bait. These 60-something years, they used the race card and used Martin Luther King's, the Democrats now use that as an excuse to use racial. And that's my opinion, and it might be true. If you don't believe me, look it up. When they say racist and racist, when Democrats run against Republicans, and they say racist or tag Republicans, and it's cheering, all that tells you it's a race baiting game. Good night.